still. And I am the co-host for Richard's program. I discovered his book at a time when I was desperate and without hope, and these calls brought me hope, gave me a plan to implement to get back my life, and I'm so grateful to be part of these calls because I wanted to give back because I did get my life back, and even though I got reinfested and I'm in the process of going through that, I'm like 3/4 of the way done, and it's because of Richard's book, and it makes a huge difference. So thank you. Richard Kuhns has done 10 editions of his book. It's because as more and more information, science, and testimonies come to light, he updates the book. Now, the CDC, the Morgellons Foundation, most doctors, dermatologists, they don't know a lot about parasites. They aren't trained in that field, and they don't know how to treat it. So we've been left pretty much on our own. And Richard has put together wonderful protocols. He created the King's Diet through trial and error for himself to get well, and it is amazing. It's the cornerstone of everything. The diet is incredible, and the book is a free download, or you can buy a hard copy at Richard's store or on Amazon. But if you're new and you haven't read the book, I highly recommend that's the first step you want to take. And we're so lucky to have Richard here with us to discuss things, to answer questions. So join me in welcoming Richard Kuhns, author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons and Other Skin Parasites. Hey, Richard.
Thank you, Robin. Welcome to the Morgellons event of the week. This is, what is it, November 15? The call, this is going to be recorded on video. It'll be available on YouTube probably by Wednesday. We've been doing these calls for almost 2 years now, and we've just began recording them video and uploading them to YouTube for the world to see. So far, the world consists of about maybe 25 people. So, but we're getting there. Every person counts. So what's the subject of today's call, Robin? We usually go through the subject first. We talk about the subject.
That's true. Well, we were going to talk about brain fog, and I have brain fog. What else were we going to talk about? We were going to talk about delusions and just how it affects your thinking and how you can't, hold on to clear thoughts and come up with weird ideas, and that's what I remember we were going to talk about.
And being overwhelmed.
Yes, right, which causes all of those other things.
Well, let's knock off brain fog. Brain fog, I've been fortunate. I've always experienced brain fog, but I never tied it into Morgellons or skin parasites, but we all have it to some degree or whatever. One person on the call described it as you go to, you're looking for something. So say you want to get your notebook and it's in another room. So you go to the other room to get your notebook, and when you walk in the room, you forget why you're coming in the room. Why am I coming in here? What am I looking for? That's an example of brain fog. Brain fog also, you could read 2 paragraphs in any book and not remember much of what was said. or what was written. So that's brain fog too, difficulty to comprehend and remember what was read. Examples of brain fog. And I'm sure when we open up the call later on, and it would be a good thing for you to do, is to text Chris or call him and tell him you'd like to share how brain fog has affected you and what your brain fog feels like. So, Chris, give me your number again.
I can give you the number for Chris.
My number is 73. Yeah, you want it? 732.
No, go ahead.
272 7952.
So when we open up the call later in a little while, but you can text him now and tell him you'd like to share what brain fog has been for you. But basically, bottom line is, one of the best ways of getting rid of brain fog, in my experience, is boosting glutathione. It's tremendous. It's the brain equalizer. And the only way that I know to boost glutathione and be compatible with stage 1 of the diet is with the Max 1 product. It's not glutathione. It's a bonded substance of D-ribose and L-cysteine that actually gets into the intracellular part of every cell of your body. And instead of like glutathione shots that you might get at a hospital that get into your bloodstream, they're great, but this gets right into the cellular structure of every cell of your body, and brain fog is out the window pretty quick. And also, glutathione has been demonstrated through research to diminish the impact of Morgellons. So it has many, many benefits, and that being one of them. Now, being overwhelmed. Well, if you got through the first chapter of my book, you've probably related with the hell I went through and know that you're on the right path. But after that, it like takes off into rockets. I mean, rockets of information, and it's so much information. It's a research project, and every time I read the book, I'm amazed to find that what's in the book. That is, and I read the book when I revise it or update it, because there's just so much information. It is totally overwhelming. It covers just about everything. So that's where it's really good to make notes, put in Post-its, actually take a notebook. Because we have brain fog, many of us are dealing with brain fog, one of the best things to deal with in the learning process is to write things down. The more senses that you use. So when you're reading, you're using your visual sense. Now, it also helps to read out loud. That's using your auditory sense. And it is tremendous value. In fact, one of my I have a site in managing stress called destress.com, which has all aspects of managing stress. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But one of the programs is improve study habits. And the best way to master any subject is to go through each chapter and write down, make a table of contents for that chapter, make a heading, and then each subject that's discussed, and then write down aspects of each subject. Do that with every chapter. And the idea is to know what's in whatever you're reading, as well as the author, to know it as thorough as the author did. Now, how did I get to know all this stuff? Well, you know, bottom line is, when I started out, I was very much like this lady here, and this note came in 2017. Around the 15th of the month, and she writes, "God bless you, Richard. For almost 2 years now, I've been going through the same thing with the parasites that you described." That's chapter 1. The first 6 months, I had my apartment exterminated 3 times. So she's going through what she's tried to do to clear up her life. She thought it was bed bugs. To no avail, the exterminator even thought I was crazy. Well, that theme shows up all the time. I slept in plastic trash bags. not knowing the mites were already on me and not some invisible creatures coming out at night biting me. The first email you get from me is entitled, "You are a walking, talking, breathing machine." And she realized that these things are not just in your environment. As long as you're not on this diet, as long as you are eating, consuming olive oil or any of the oils or fruits or sugars and sweets and many of the carbohydrates that we have in our typical diet, they feed the parasites, and you're a walking, talking, breathing machine. She goes on to say, "I see these black spots, not only in my bed, but I can sweep, and under 30 minutes later, they are on the floor again." That describes mites. Anytime you're dealing with black dots or the little tiny creatures of this nature, and they could even be red, 90% of the time, that is a type of mite infestation. My doctor diagnosed me with delusional parasitosis over a year ago and proceeded to tell me today that if I did not start counseling, he would no longer see me. You get the gall that these doctors have? They know so much more, right? The iatrogenic effect that I talked about last week. Wow. I was so frustrated walking out of that appointment that I said, I am not going to be able to tell my primary care physician any longer about these mites because he feels like being unable to help me. Here she is feeling sorry for him. Typical. I think he believes that I am questioning his intelligence, which I'm not. No, we're not questioning their intelligence. We just want them to put their intelligence to work instead of putting us in a rat hole and calling us delusional. That's what we want from them. But when I told him that I found this site that I really enjoyed, and it gave me pointers about how to clean and how to disinfect and how to do different things, he got really upset. You believe that? He got upset because she found an answer someplace, or at least what looked like an answer. She found our site. This is over 2.5 years ago. Where was I here? I alone started washing and putting stuff into plastic bags after wearing them one time, especially my towels. I don't let anybody use my towels, and I use them one time, and they go into bags until I can wash them. I just thank you for taking the time to let me know that there are other people out there that have been and are going through what I've been going through. That alone is worth, how much is that worth? I mean, the doctor tells you're delusional, and you have no other reference, and you go on the websites and you don't know what you're reading there on the internet. It's so valuable, and you can share this too later with Chris if you'd like to share. We're not looking for a pity party here. We're looking to commonly unite and collectively know that we're at the right place and that we all go through this. It's the beginning of being overwhelmed. I was at this same place myself. But fortunately, I didn't find myself. I was lost for years, and fortunately, I found the diet. Like I said, I was so disappointed leaving the doctor's appointment today that I don't even know if I want to go back to see him. But he has been my doctor for years. I just don't know why here in America they are so uneducated on these mites. Question mark, question mark. At first I thought they were bed bugs. Then I thought they were chiggers. And then I talked to my daughter about them, and she did some research on my symptoms and found the Demodex mites, which I'm almost 100% sure I have. Well, further information, it's highly unlikely Demodex, because we did an update maybe a year or two ago, and Demodex mites get blamed many times for this, but it is highly, highly unlikely, probably 99.9% impossible that it's Demodex. There are 40,000 other species of mites out there, according to Britannica, and those are the ones that we want to look at, not dust mites and Demodex mites. But I'm sure I have other forms like springtails and the little black dots and stuff you talk about, and probably all above.
Mm.
I can't get them out of my back, but I'm tired of the sores. I'm tired of being held hostage in my own home, and I just thank you for taking the time to email me and let me know that there's light at the end of this tunnel. I'm going to get the soap and the book as soon as possible and start the diet around the first of the year. Well, my only comment in this whole letter, which is incredibly fantastic, is don't start the diet yesterday. Don't wait 2 weeks. This is like 2 weeks before the end of the year that she wrote this. Always so grateful. So there you have it. And I can relate with that. When I first was impacted, I didn't know what it was. The doctor, again, didn't understand it. One did call me delusional, but he did it in a nice way, you know, so, but he wasn't my regular doctor. And I thought it was mites. I was looking into the baldy, scaldy-faced mite some guy in Australia knew about and researching that. And I had as many answers to these questions that you have at that point. I'm basically totally ignorant, totally stupid about it. And probably if I had not discovered the diet, I never would have gotten in a position where I had relief enough to relate and know about it. So back in the late 90s, the only thing I had to contribute was the diet. And believe it or not, people got well. People even claimed that they were cured from the diet. And along the way, around 2002, I discovered through communication with other people, that's when Morgellons was coined, the word Morgellons. That's when I also talked to people who informed me of what springtails are. And that's when things started gelling in my mind. And the first book I wrote was 2006. It's called Soothing the Itch Within Me and the Diet to Control It. I thought that was a rather good title. But later when I made the second revision around 2010, those words were not good to show up as keywords on Amazon, and I changed the title to How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons, Chronic Lyme, and Other Skin Parasites. So I started where all of you are, with your theories, with the theories of what it might be, what you're looking into. I started with a microscope. I started looking at these things. I saw these shiny things on my skin that sparkled, and I looked and saw them in the microscope. They were perfectly round spheres, some kind of egg, I surmised. And from here, you can go everywhere. I mean, here's what another lady wrote, because I mean, it drives you crazy to come up with a reason. So we go to the next way out there, because one of the, well, she writes, Dear Mr. Kuhns, I would like to subscribe to your emails again, please. I need help from you and yours, please. Now, all this sounds fine so far. And now she says, I don't have any bugs. I have invisible space creatures. Invisible space creatures haunting me day and night and trying to take over my brain. They make me do rituals, and I fear that I have let them into my human psyche in a bad way. Thank you. Well, that is a what's the psychological term that describes paranoia? And it is typical that in being overwhelmed that we reach for and we accept conspiracy theories and we adopt them. And as long as we're in these conspiracy theories, where are we going to get in terms of diet, in terms of disinfecting, in terms of doing the things that we need to do? It's hard if we get sucked up in some conspiracy theory. I don't know if I can help this lady. I don't know. I mean, if she starts reading the book, what's it going to mean to her? Because the book has nothing to do with these little space creatures out there. I'm totally overwhelmed myself on that level. So, and I got another email from a lady earlier this week informing me that Dr. Karjoo of California, he is no longer in practice. I have no idea why he closed his practice. I don't know if he retired or if the FDA had any problems with them. I don't know. They're the thing. That's the organization I shudder, every day. I say, please, FDA, leave me alone, because the FDA requires me. As long as I hopefully that I tell you this, they'll leave me alone. The FDA requires me to inform you that I'm not a medical doctor. Robin is not a doctor. Barbara, Sandra, Ethel, anybody affiliated with me is not a medical doctor. We're not here to cure, to treat, or mitigate any physical disease or any skin disease. The purpose, and we're not here to diagnose you. The purpose of the work that we do is to educate you how to clean them out of your environment, clean them out of your skin, clean them out of your body, and through targeted supplements build health and immune functioning so that you can get your life back. So we don't diagnose, we don't treat, we inform and educate. And when somebody says, do I have Morgellons? Well, I ask them, do you have filaments and fibers coming from your skin? If the answer is yes, I don't say you have Morgellons. I say, according to Dr. Saverly's book, she describes Morgellons as the symptom of filaments and fibers. That's education, not a diagnosis. So it is tremendously overwhelming. And these things get in your hair, they feel like they're in your brain. I've felt them in the inside of my ears. People have them sometimes in the throat, they're in the sinuses, they're everywhere. And if you know how to use the search function, the ebook is free. Where can you get this ebook? This ebook is free. Everything in it is free. I got my life back. I didn't use any of my soaps. I didn't use any of my creams. I got my life back with the diet, scalding baths, and disinfecting with ammonia. So there's nothing that you owe me by reading the book. The book refers to a lot of our products because they have been lauded as the best there is in speeding up the progress and the process. And fortunately, I got reinfected about maybe around 2013 by meeting someone else who was infected to give her a sample of the soap, the debriding soap. She's actually the first person that ever got a sample of the debriding soap. And I had no idea if the stuff worked, but I got reinfected. And guess what? I used it, and it was miraculous. And that's the beginning of our store. It has gone from one product, the debriding soap, to over 150 products. And a goal that I have is to have everything basically anybody would want if they're dealing with skin parasites. So you will find supersaturated potassium iodide there. You will find the Morgellons cocktail there. You'll find anything that has been substantiated by other people as being working. But you won't find miracle mineral supplement there, because I just don't see any reason to add it, because the things that we have are, in my opinion, far better. But it doesn't mean that you can't get it from someplace else. So the subject is totally overwhelming, and creativity is almost at zero, Because when we go back and look at this and the frustration that these people are going through, the lady, that long email that I wrote, and the lady with these space things, there's a lot of confusion, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of upset, a lot of depression. And what does this cause? What happens when we get frustrated? And what happens, Robin? How does
we can't think.
And we can't think. Right. Our fight or flight gets kicked in. When our fight or flight gets kicked in, we're partially ready to fight something or run from something, and there's nothing to run from and there's nothing to fight. You know? Physically, that is. You do have a fight, but it's not from a physical point of using your knuckles and punching somebody out, or using your feet to escape and run away. So when our stress response kicks in, our IQ drops. Not to forget to mention that you get your muscles get a little tighter, your stomach gets a little queasy, your vascular system gets, your fingers and toes get a little cooler as the blood is directed to your organs. Your hands get a little sweaty, but your IQ drops. And when your IQ drops, your creativity goes out the door. And if you have any thought that comes along, such as, I don't know if this diet is working. I don't know if they know what they're talking about. I tried it for a few days. Nothing helps me. There's no, I'm doomed. Negativity runs rampant. You catch those stupid suggestions, and what do? They keep you from learning. They keep you from getting your life back. And they win, and you lose. So what's it up? It's up to you. It's up to you to give in. The point is, Robin and I are here, and Ethel is here, and Chris is here, because we know this program works. The diet works. There is nothing better in the world than this diet in dealing with mites and Morgellons and Columbella and Strongyloides cervicalis. Although I was mistaken, I was so ignorant back then that, and I was diagnosed with Strongyloides cervicalis. It's a tiny little, it's described as a flatworm. It has a cycle inside and outside of the human body. You can look it up on Google and you can see pictures of how it works. And one day when we understand Morgellons, you're going to find the same kind of thing. One day when we understand Columbella, if they ever acknowledge the fact that Columbella springtails can infest internally, systemically, you're going to find the same kind of diagram. But I thought back then that the Strongyloides caused itching and biting sensation, but it doesn't. It has nothing to do with that, but it is a parasite, and is usually if you have rashes, and the only symptom I had was rashes around the waist and the feet area. That's the only symptom I had. But there are 7 symptoms. Red hives around the anus, constipation, diarrhea, on and off, weight loss, and what are some of the coughing. So I think that's about 5 of the 7. So those are different symptoms, and that parasite can be dormant for many years and then suddenly become active. So if it's dormant, great, not bothering you. If it's active, well, then there is treatment. You get your doctor to take a blood sample, send it to Quest, and they do a serological test and identify the Strongyloides. Well, I got off on this side thing there. So stress management. Because when we're stressed out, the fight or flight kicks in, the intelligence level drops, the creativity goes to 0, and your chances of beating these organisms go near to 0 as well, because you are highly likely to pick up those negative thoughts of doom and gloom. Like I at once thought that suicide was the only way out of this life for me. And if it weren't for the fact that I had a 4-year-old son, I may have followed through with that. But fortunately, I didn't. So when these stress response kicks in, there's another thing that happens. It's self-perpetuating. You can't win for losing here, because the next thing is cortisol is one of the hormones that the stress response creates, and cortisol creates blood sugar. And blood sugar feeds the parasites. Sugar's not on the diet, not for stage 1 of the Columbella or Morgellons. It's just not there. It feeds them. So you got these thoughts running through your mind. There's no hope for me. I'm doomed. Nothing's working for me. And guess what? Cortisol makes it real, because it makes the symptoms worse. It makes the itching and the biting all so much worse. So what do we do?
Richard,
Yes.
before we go on, I wanted to say there's a echo, but LDN, low-dose naltrexone, which does not cure Morgellons, but it regulates cortisol in your body. And if your cortisol is low, that can also be a cause for massive brain fog.
Absolutely.
And when it brings it up to normal, your brain fog may clear. If you have high cortisol, it will bring it down to normal and will help you become less attractive to parasites.
So one of the first things you might want to do is have your doctor give you a blood test for cortisol levels, and to therefore diagnose you. We're not doctors. We're not telling you you should take low-dose naltrexone. We're only informing you that low-dose naltrexone is a medication used in low dosages. In high dose, 50 milligrams or so, it's used for addicts, drug addicts. Low doses, if you look it up on internet, it's used for everything. It's used for diabetes. It's used for heart ailment. It has a wide application, and it does, one of the benefits it does is it helps out balance out cortisol. So have your doctor give you a blood test for it and identify if you have a cortisol issue, and then pray and hope well, ask him for low-dose naltrexone. Now, he's not going to call it into your local pharmacy. It's only done in compound pharmacies. So you'll have to find a compound pharmacy, which may mean that he most likely won't prescribe it, because he's probably unfamiliar with compound pharmacies. Usually the other doctors who don't rely heavily on medications use compound pharmacies. So it depends on what type of doctor you're dealing with. So what do we do to manage stress? A quick, simple technique. What would we like to do today? You breathing or tapping? We did tapping last week. Let's do breathing this week.
Okay.
Okay. And then I hope that those of you who are now muted, everybody's muted, and we're going to I hope you've been texting questions into Chris or Robin, so that we can have a good interchange here, free of a lot of feedback and so forth. I hope, am I creating the echo, do you think?
I'm not hearing an echo anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Echo gone. So text in those questions, or if you'd like to share. If you have a question, text it to Robin, and she'll read the question. If you'd like to verbally share yourself and speak, to ask a question or share, text that to Chris, and he will then open your line at the appropriate time. So we're going to do deep breathing now, and that would be a good thing to share too, because we've been doing this for almost 2 years. So is anybody doing it? You know, so let's get a little feedback. I mean, we have had people share that they've had chronic hypertension, and once they started doing deep breathing on a regular basis throughout the day, guess what? Their chronic hypertension went bye-bye, but we're not recognizing it as a treatment. We're just saying do it and see what happens. Okay, so Robin's going to take us through the deep breathing.
Okay, so now there's still a little bit of an echo. Okay. You are either going to stand up straight with your shoulders down, neck, chin up, or
Robin,
sit with both your feet
are
on
you
the
logged
floor.
in two systems, Robin?
Pardon?
Are you logged in into two systems?
I am not logged into two systems.
The feedback is coming from your line.
I don't know.
Now it's
I can
off.
turn down this. I can turn down how loud my microphone is. That might help. But I am only logged in on my computer.
Okay, you're okay now. Go ahead.
Am I better now?
Yeah, I think you're better now. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I have no clue why. All right. So anyway, when you're sitting, don't cross your legs. Put both feet on the floor, back straight, shoulder down, and we're going to breathe from our diaphragm, which is in our belly. And when you take a breath, your diaphragm goes out. And then we're going to use our stomach muscles to control our diaphragm like a bellows, a controlled push of the air out. We breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. And we're going to breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, slowly breathe out for 10 seconds. If you can't do the whole time, that's okay. Do what you can. And we're also going to focus our thoughts while we're doing this on prayer and faith and peace and good things, okay? So let your breath out and breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold and imagine what joy looks like. 3, 4, 5, and breathe out and release fear. 2, 3, let it go. Imagine it fleeing out the windows. 8, 9, 10, and breathe in deep peace. Every molecule in your body, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out. Breathe out. Let go of the pain and the fear. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and breathe in strength. Breathe in perseverance. Breathe in hopefulness and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out. 2, 3, and smile. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Breathe in faith. Breathe in believe you're going to get through this. You're going to get better. And hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out. Imagine walking barefoot on your floors and nothing biting you. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and breathe in happiness. 2, 3, 4, 5. Imagine hugging people, hugging your family, being close to people, and not worrying. And hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out and let go of that worry. Let go of anxiety. Imagine that you're chasing it out the door. It's like a black cloud that's leaving. 9, 10, and breathe in, and the sun is dissolving the clouds. The mites are exploding into nothingness. 4, 5, and hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out. 2, 3, slowly. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and one more time. Breathe in excitement, creativity, solutions. 4, 5, thankfulness. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, and breathe out and just release and relax. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, I love that. I love it when you say smile. Smile.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Thank you. Well, that concludes today's call. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. No, I'm not going to pull a fast one.
I do have a couple of questions.
Okay, let's do the questions, and if anybody's texted Chris, we'll find out too in a short while. So, what questions do you have there?
Okay, I have.
What's the name of your
question.
cat? What's the name of your cat?
Tiger.
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 Say hi, Tiger.
Say hi.
Yeah, when you see the video, you can meet Tiger.
Yeah. So one question is, do you know how many people are currently in the world affected by Morgellons and other bacteria?
All right. Well, that data is not known. However, this data is known. There are 8.1 out of 100,000 people diagnosed with Lyme disease. 8.1 out of every 100,000. And it's kind of treated like an epidemic. It was the big news maker until COVID-19 came along. Now, Morgellons. There's one source that says 27 people out of 100,000 are diagnosed with delusions of parasitosis. Delusions of parasitosis, 27 out of 100,000. That's one source. This number is really hard to come by. And if anybody can get a good number, I mean, there's one county, I think in Michigan, where they have a number but it's really hard to come by. And this came through a write-up I saw at Mayo Clinic. So 27 out of 100,000. But how many of those people have Morgellons? I mean, delusions of parasites. Now, back around 2002 or 2003, the National Pediculosis Society did a study, a microscopic study. They took, I believe the numbers are, but this is very close, they took 23 people who were diagnosed as having delusions of parasites, delusions of parasitosis. And they microscopically examined the lesion area. And in 21 out of 23, they found what organism?
Bartonella bacteria.
No.
Oh.
Columbella.
Oh.
The organism that all the experts say can't infect humans. Columbella. This was before the word Morgellons was coined. From my questionnaire, the questionnaires that I get, I evaluate them. I must have probably 1,000 questionnaires now that people have sent me for an evaluation, and I send you detailed protocol, which is also overwhelming, but at least it's targeted. You don't have to read through the whole book and guess what I'm talking about. It's really targeted. 80% of the people with Morgellons also show symptoms of Columbella. So those other 2 people that were diagnosed that didn't have Columbella, they had Morgellons too. So there you have it. 27 out of 100,000 compared to 8.1 out of 100,000 for Lyme means that Morgellons and Columbella is a massive epidemic right under our noses.
Wow.
Well, I don't know if that's an exact answer. I don't really know the number, but that's what my research shows. And I welcome anybody out there to enlighten me on the number of people nationally that are diagnosed as having delusions of parasites. That would be a great number to have. So we would get some confirmation as to whether 27 out of 100,000 is close or near.
That's amazing. Okay, this is a question from Zoraida. It's actually two questions. She hears a popping sound on her scalp, and she wondered if you know what that is. And she also wants to know suggestions for how to heal face lesions.
Well, the popping sound, I don't know. Have you ever had that experience, Robin?
Well, I mean, I think any sound, it could be, I know it relates to parasites in your hair, and it could be them jumping. It could be, you know, if they're near your ears, it could be them dying. It could be a lot of different things. I don't know, but I think it's related to parasites.
When I look at it, I agree with you. It doesn't matter what the hell's causing it. It's not supposed to be there, and it's something that needs to be gotten rid of. And the bottom line is, Ethel, are you on the call? Ethel? What happened to our greeting coach?
I'm here, yeah.
Okay, Ethel. Would you share how to deal with the scalp?
Okay, with the scalp, make a mixture in the palm of your hand with some NG shampoo, or regular or foaming, some super MSM gel, and Claudia's Dream Cream, and a few drops of peppermint or clove or whatever oil you like. Mites don't like essential oils, especially clove oil. So you got the NG shampoo, MSM gel, Claudia's Dream Cream, and a few drops of one of the essential oils. Mix that together, massage this into your hair, and put on a shower cap overnight to keep it from drying out. Wash and clean your hair in the morning and repeat this 2 times during the day or maybe more. Do this daily for several days, and as you get better, reduce it to 2 times a day and eventually 1 per day. This could take a month overall. And if you're going out in public, what I did was I went online and I actually found quite an array of really cute cancer caps. They're not just the turbans. I have some that have really big, exaggerated roses, some just, you know, a little bit more sensible. And that way you can actually even keep the swim cap on under it and put this cute little cap on top. So that would be what you would do for your scalp protocol, and you've got to be really aggressive.
Thank you, Ethel.
You're welcome.
It's wonderful. You know, Ethel helped Sandra, one of our coaches, and Ethel, you know, kind of helped put this together. And I don't have that problem because, you know, I'm basically bald-headed, so I don't have the hair issue. So, but the idea is to keep it wet just as if you were in a bath. And the funny, if you go back and if you go into our blog, the blog is very informative. The book is very informative. In fact, the new book, it would be about maybe 600 pages if I didn't reference the blog. So you find all this. The ebook is phenomenal. You open it up, you do a Control F, that's or a search function, whatever your search function is. Search the word scalp. It will take you to the references in the book about scalp. It'll take you to the blog post. All this information is already there. You don't need us to spoon feed you. It's all there. If you have problems with your nose, search for nose. It'll take you to your nose. any subject you want. Medications, it'll take you to the information about medication. So getting your life back is keeping a diary, studying that book, reading it 8 times. I mean, people have shared with me, the ones that are successful, that they've read it as many as 8 times and then referred to it constantly. They have yellow notes in it. I don't know. There's no book better in the world. Go to Amazon. The only other book there is Dr. Saverly's book that has I think she has like maybe 80 reviews. This book has like 170 4.7 star reviews, and the only 1 or 2 star reviews come from years ago when people thought that the medication that we use, ORAP, was a antipsychotic, before we understood that these medications reduce dopamine, and dopamine feeds the parasites. And they have an internal way of creating more dopamine. And I mean, these parasites have you figured out. I mean, believe me, if you scratch your skin, there is a blog post about what happens when you scratch your skin from an itch. It creates a chemical reaction that causes the parasites to become more active, and they feed themselves by you scratching their symptoms. It's amazing. So the book and the blog are phenomenal. Whenever you have a question, go there, because even if you don't find exactly what you're looking for, you're going to find something else that means a lot to you. Another question.
That's right.
Richard?
Yes.
Healing lesions on your face.
Lesions on your face. Okay. Now, in the there are probably 6, 7 different ways of doing that. One of them, when you complete the questionnaire, you get part of it is a list of different medications. Now, you can go to the medication route, and rifampicin, R-I-P-F-A-M-K-I-N, I believe is how you spell it. Rifampicin is a medication that has been reported to clear up lesions. Other things that you can do is you can get the nanoglutathione that we have and put a drop or 2 of it on your skin, on the lesion. We have a deep wound cleanse kit, which is a special formulation of the Nature's Gift and the exfoliant cream. So again, if you go into the book and search for facial lesions, you'll find about a half a dozen different ways. People have made a mixture of the kinase enzymes with water, a paste, a paste with it, and applied that to the lesions as well. You have somebody like to speak, Chris?
Yes, Richard.
Yes.
I researched that the prevalence of Morgellons.
The what?
Somebody asked how many people are suffering from Morgellons.
Yes.
I went to raregenomics.org. It says Morgellons, according to a 2012 study by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the prevalence of Morgellons was 3.65 cases per 100,000 participants.
3.6 per 100,000.
Yes.
Okay, that's 2012.
Yes.
And I'm not sure of that reference, if they actually, how they got their studies. That would indicate it's about half as prevalent as Lyme disease. But I think today, as we're knowing more about the Morgellons, be much higher. Thank you. Anyone else have a question they texted you, Robin?
No, that's it so far.
No one else has texted in to Chris?
No, not really. One question that came in.
Okay.
About how many people.
Well, please take advantage of this. Write Chris's number down. Give it to him again.
Oh, here's
my number is 732-272-7952. 732-272-7952.
Here's a question from someone who is also new on the call. Can you get infected from cats?
You want to answer that one?
Sure. Yes, you can. You can get infected from cats, dogs, other people, sitting in chairs, walking outside. Lots of ways to get infected. And there is treatment for your cat as well as yourself. I don't know. So, I mean, for yourself, you know, you need to get Richard's book and read it and start the diet, the baths, and disinfecting your environment. For your cat, what I recommend is getting Program, which is lufeneron, and there is lufeneron for people as well. And Program is lufeneron for cats. It kills the eggs inside your body, and you give it to the cat once a month. You can buy it from your vet or online. It goes by the cat's weight. There's also Seresto collars, which kill the adults on the body, and they last 8 months. And there's also Adam's pyrethrin flea dip for cats and dogs that you can give a cat that is very helpful. And Richard sent out a update that had my protocol for how to give a cat a flea bath. And you can look that up. I don't know if it's in the blog or you can message me or email me later. I will send it to you. Next question, what about laundry? Yes, borax is good, but it's just one little piece of what you do with laundry. Did you want me to talk about laundry, or would you like to, Richard?
Sure, you can. You've gone at it far more in depth than I've ever had to go at it. So go ahead. You do this pre-soak with ammonia. You know, since Robin does, she'll tell you, she does a soak in a tub, 2 inches ammonia in the bottom. Now, if you don't want your clothes to be saturated with ammonia, because it's not really the liquid, it's the fumes that have the power, you could lay something in the bottom and put some kind of plastic screen, maybe some small boards or something, and put in a screen and fill the bottom with ammonia and put the clothes on top so that they don't necessarily get wet. And this is helpful if you have a septic system and you don't want to get ammonia in your septic system. So go ahead and describe what you do.
Okay, so the pre-soak, yeah, I use a plastic bin with a top, and I let it sit with the ammonia for anywhere from 2 hours to overnight. You want to wash all your bedding and your clothes daily when you're infested. And then in the wash, I would put a cup of borax in with the wash, and I would use either, you have a couple of choices. I love Richard's laundry soap, which is kind of an enzyme laundry soap, or his enzyme cleaner, or another enzyme cleaner, but I don't use regular laundry soap. I use like an ounce of enzyme cleaner mixed with a teaspoon of Clorox Blue powdered pool shock. And if you go that route, you want to make sure the pool shock is dissolved in the enzyme or laundry soap, because otherwise it will leave spots on your clothes, but not if it's dissolved. And then Richard also has in his store a new microbial cleaner which works on microbes. We still don't know how big they have to get before it stops working on them, but it has definitely helped with many things. If you put an ounce in your laundry, you would use it weekly. If you put 4 ounces in, it will protect your clothes for a certain level of microbes forever. And then you wash things on hot whenever possible. Using the pool shock allowed me to wash clothes that couldn't be washed in hot water, and it still cleared them. And then in the dryer, you want to use the highest level of heat you possibly can. And I would use 2 dryer sheets. Richard would use a washcloth or a sock soaked in ammonia. I would spray 1 dryer sheet with 100% ammonia, 1 dryer sheet with peppermint oil, dry on high for 1.5 to 2 hours. And then I would put things in Ziploc bags if I wasn't going to use them right away. And that's what I would do with laundry. Here's a question, what about cigarette smoke? And, I mean, cigarette smoke is bad for you, period. I don't know if it makes parasites any worse, but if you have an ozone generator that you're using to kill parasites, it will also help clear the air of cigarette smoke and get the smell out of wood. And a lot of places that are cleaning use ozone to get rid of odors and cigarette smoke from places. So that's all I know.
One of the things that I investigated or looked into myself many, many years ago was if nicotine had any impact on these organisms and whether or not nicotine would help diminish them. So I didn't start smoking, but I started using the nicotine patches to boost my nicotine levels in my body, and it had no impact, but I did learn something that at least nicotine taken that way is not addictive. You know, people say you stop smoking and it's a nicotine addiction. I could do 10 patches and stop and have no problem whatsoever, but nicotine did not have any impact on the parasites. And I took that part out of the book years ago.
Interesting. Interesting.
Any other questions? Well, if we don't have any more questions, Chris will open the mic for everybody. Once you're on and asking, he'll probably close off everybody else so that we won't get any feedback. So, Chris, you can open up the mics to everybody, the phone lines.
Yes, Richard, I'm opened up everybody.
Okay. Anyone like to share your experience or ask a question? This is a working call for people in our program. If you're here from Facebook or somebody gave you this number and you're not part of our program, I ask you to only share your experiences, what it's been with family, with the isolation aspect, with the doctors. If you have questions about the parasites and tell me, oh, I got these things coming out of my whatever, don't ask that question because you're not on the diet. The first thing I'm going to ask you is, are you on the diet? Are you disinfecting? We talked about those things. So please share how the organisms have infected you. Already I hear a lot of feedback, which I don't like. Anyone have a question they'd like to share?
I like to share.
Yes. Your name?
Well, my name is Danica, and I'm really new to this, like really new to everything. I've never experienced or heard anything like this in my 34 years of being on Earth. So when I first started, the doctors diagnosed it as a pink eye.
Kristen, you will take that feedback and get rid of it. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Danica. Please, if all of us can text Chris, we can do this call a lot smoother for everybody. So, Danica, you're still on? You're 34? Hello?
Oh, I'm unmuted now. I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, I'm 34, and like I said, I've never heard or experienced anything like this in my life, but it first started, I want to say the end of July. Like, it was like the end of summer. I had like this cat in, and I called it a pink eye. That's what the doctors diagnosed it as. But the eye, when they gave me the antibiotic drop, is like it made my eyes, you know, the mess that comes out of your eye, they tell you to clean it up, but it was like, it was excessive. So I'm wiping everywhere. Like, it went in my hair, all over my body. And I was going through this for like 2 months. And then all of a sudden, I had a slab in my eye that I was wiping out that I swallowed. And so I was going to the hospital telling them it literally got stuck in my throat. And I'm literally trying to get this slab out of my throat. So I went to the hospital because I'm freaking out because I don't know what's going on. And they tell me, oh, it's okay. Everybody swallows mucus every day. But I'm like, okay, but it came from an infected so-called pink eye. Like, shouldn't I be concerned about that? So I got ignored with that. So I went, like, I didn't go back. And then after I swallowed the slab, it seemed like it started going all over my body. And then it wasn't just in my eye. So I'm going from, I went to like 2 different hospitals. I went to 2 different doctors. I've been to the dermatologist. Everybody's saying because they can't see it, they can't do anything about it. But I'm telling them this is what I feel. Like, if I wanted to, excuse my language, if I wanted to feel this type of way, I would have did some extracurricular activities to make it feel like I had worms on me. But no, I'm not making this up. So basically I got dismissed. About 8 different times I've gotten dismissed. So this last go round, my doctor pulled up this, because I'm telling them all the antibiotic drops and stuff they give me for pink eye, that stuff is not working. My body felt like it needed to be cleansed, like I needed some antibiotics to help fight whatever was inside of me. So they're looking at me like I'm crazy, telling me go see a psychiatrist. So I'm like, okay, so why should I go see a psychiatrist? They're not telling me anything. I'm guessing they thought I was delusional, which is now I'm figuring out is part of the wording. But they thought I was delusional, so I felt like lost. Like, I literally isolated. Like, I was scared to take a bath because every time I took a bath, it seemed like the stuff was activated more. It felt like I had a web across my face. I couldn't breathe. It was going to my ears, my nose. Like, it's coming out of every place in my body right now. And now, to speed up to date, like, I've been doing my own regimen. I did the black mask to pull the stuff off my face. That was wonderful. I started, not knowing all of this information, I started using baking soda and baking powder when I was taking baths, and that soothed me at night. But when I wake up, it was like a whole glop of whatever it was stuck on there. So I'm like, I have to keep doing this every night, and it's slimy when I'm in the shower. So I'm like, it's mucus. It got to be mucus or something close to it. And I'm telling my doctor this, and she's just looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm to the point, like, even just recently, I'm still telling my doctor, like, how I read your book, how I read up on more information about this, because honestly, I think they just diagnose you and just keep it moving. They don't even try to help their patient. So I'm doing more research on this than they are, and I'm telling them what I found, and they're still telling me, well, you still need to go see a psychiatrist before I can help you. And I'm like, I need something to help me from the inside, because I'm trying to deal with the outside. So I went and got some detox cleansing support vitamins. Of course, I ordered the mouthwash. I've ordered the shampoo, which I love. I ordered the soap, which actually I'm getting ready to take a bath in after I get off the phone with y'all. But it's working, but I don't know if it makes it more active or what, but my face is like dry and hard.
Yes, you have layers of skin there that have been destroyed. So have you started the diet? Have you gotten rid of the almond milk and the ginger ale?
Yep. I've done all of that. I've been drinking nothing but lemon water. I got some green tea. I got some apple cider, Mother's Nature.
Oh, apple
vinegar.
cider? What apple cider you say?
Yes, the apple cider vinegar.
No, you're not drinking that, I hope.
No. I take baths and stuff in it.
All right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So you're on your way, and yeah, you're right. Doctors don't want to hear what you found because you're not credible. If you hand them my book, I'm not credible. I'm not a doctor. So they are on a different planet than, unfortunately, we are when it comes to this issue. So thank you for sharing, Danica. Welcome to the program. Look forward to you being one of our coaches as time goes on.
Richard, I have somebody from Washington has a question.
Yes, okay.
Go ahead, please, from Washington. I opened your line.
Okay.
Is this Beth? From Beth?
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
I'm here.
Beth?
Yeah.
Your
Oh,
name?
my phone keeps. There we go. I'm here.
Beth?
Hello, Beth? Beth?
Hello?
Yes.
Washington, D.C.?
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, hi. So I have made huge progress on Richard's program, and I've been on the diet for months, and I did all the disinfection and the baths, and I've been pretty much symptom free. I've also taken the ORAP, and when I got up to ORAP about 4 milligrams, and then it was really starting to slow me down. So my doctor and I started reducing, or I've been reducing the ORAP. And when I got to about 2.5, I started feeling a little bit more of some itchiness and some of the conditions coming back. So I'm wondering if I should just go back up on the ORAP, or I'm just
So,
maybe I need to stay
hi
on it
Beth,
a little bit longer.
this is Robin, and I was on Pimazide also for about 4.5 months, and what it did for me was it gave me the opportunity to attack my environment without being attacked back. And
Right.
if you're going off or lowering the dose and still being affected, it means your environment is still bad.
Okay.
At least
Okay,
that's what I
so-
think it means. I mean,
And there should be no problem. There should not be any problem with you going back up to a higher dose as well as you're working on the environment. But that answer should be given to you by your doctor, not me, because I am not a doctor and can't give you medical advice.
Okay.
So you definitely want to focus on the environment, and if it's still bad and all you've been doing is like ammonia, then, the book has ways of upping your game, taking things to the next level, and you might need to look into that.
Yeah, we're doing the electrostatic sprayer every day with the enzyme cleaner.
Right,
Sure.
and that alone, didn't do it for me. That was definitely a game changer, but I had to do a lot more than that. Just saying.
Okay.
That was just one of 5 things that I had to do it all the time.
We discussed this quite a bit last week, didn't we? The environment, I think that was the topic of our discussion. So you might pick up some ideas if you go on YouTube and go back and listen to last week's discussion.
Right. And I just got the antimicrobial, so maybe I can put that into the electrostatic too, so that might
help. You can, but just realize you have to, it works best on things that have already been cleaned. So you want to have clean surfaces, and then you spray, and you can mix it with an enzyme cleaner, but it needs to have a clean surface, and it only works on. It doesn't necessarily work on things that are bigger, like we don't have enough information yet to say it will work on mites that you can see. It works on really small things.
It might work on nymphs at the cellular level, but we don't know it's not going to work on adults. And you only need to use the antimicrobial one time. You don't have to use it every time you spray.
Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you, and thank you for all your support.
Glad you're progressing. Glad to hear from you, and look forward to you becoming a coach. Anyone else like to share? Anyone else text you? That's the way we like it. There's minimal feedback on that call.
Yeah, that was good.
Now I think I opened up everybody.
Okay.
Rita from New York.
I need to ask a question.
Yeah, go ahead,
Hi,
please.
Rita.
Hi. I just have a question because I received paperwork from the infectious disease doctor, and it says I need to be on long-term current use of medication, but it said parasite infestation, cutaneous larvae, Migrans, and group skin lesions, and periorbital cellulitis of the left eye.
And so your question is?
My question is, what is all that stuff? She's not saying I don't have something. She's saying I do have a parasitic infestation. I don't know what cutaneous larva, Migrans is.
Well, that means they found larvae in your skin, under your skin. They found some kind of larva.
Okay, and they can't tell me what. And then group skin lesions, and then cellulitis of the left eye.
Well,
what is cellulitis? What?
I'm not really familiar with. I would go to Google and look it up. It's something I should know, but I don't have an answer. So go to Google and look it up. What cellulitis means.
So they found a larva of an infestation of you're saying like a larva of whatever the parasite infestation is?
Right, and I just looked it up. So orbital cellulitis is an infection of the soft tissue and fat that hold the eye in its socket and can be uncomfortable and painful.
Yes.
So
it can
be caused by anything.
What I'm trying to figure out is if they found a cutaneous larva or whatever it's called, wouldn't they know what that is?
Probably not, because they'd have to do a DNA test on it, and they're probably not equipped to do that. So, have you completed the questionnaire that I have?
No, my son was going to print it out and bring it to me tomorrow.
Don't do it that way. Because I can't take we don't accept letters. We don't accept mail.
Well, then he can do it on my computer when he gets here. Because I don't go on the computer.
Okay.
So I'm at a loss, but I'm following the diet, but it's just, this just came out of the blue. I mean, I'm 63 years old. I'm like, what the hell? I've never been allergic to it. I just don't know what the hell's going on.
Well, subcutaneous larva could be, like there are 40,000 different species of mites. It could be any one of those. It could be some kind of nematode as well. It's hard to say what it is. If you complete the questionnaire, I can give you a pretty good assessment as to what to do about it. How to clean them. I can instruct you how to clean them out.
I'm also going to a wellness doctor, and he gave me Japanese knotweed. Do you know what that is?
It's something that's used. You're taking it internally?
I take it in like drops, like in water.
Right. Well, let me say it this way. There are a lot of ways to skin the cat. And my book is based on the diet. From my point of view and my experience, you're not going to skin the cat unless the diet is in place. So the diet is like the trunk of the tree. Now the tree has 100 different limbs, and there are 100 different ways of dealing with it. The limbs that I've identified have been most effective for me and many of the people that I've worked with. In the book are a lot of other limbs. That particular substance is not in the book, but it could be in the book as one of the limbs. I don't have a lot of people that have written me and told me that Japanese knotweed work for them. So it's not something that I would recommend as an approach to start with.
Okay, all right. I also had that Candida albicans with a biopsy. I had a dermatologist. But
Well, again, chapter 3 or 4 goes quite in detail into Candida albicans. It can be very serious. There are 4 stages to it. The King diet is probably the best diet in the world, even stricter than Candida diet. The only thing to modify on the King diet is to not consume white rice, but only brown rice, because white rice will be a problem with Candida. So that is important. The next thing we do is we look at taking lufeneron. It's a pet medication. It's ordered from people that we work with in Mexico. You take 1 capsule for 96 days. What lufeneron does is it breaks down, it inhibits the production of chitin. So Candida is fungal in nature. All fungal organisms require chitin as a building block. It's like if you imagine a brick wall. The brick wall has mortar. If the mortar is not there, the wind will blow the wall over.
Right.
So lufeneron blocks the production of the mortar, blocks the production of the chitin upon which Candida grows.
How do you spell that?
What's that?
How do you spell that?
Lufenuron.
So, can I buy that from you?
No, you get it from Mexico. This is why you want to complete the questionnaire, because the questionnaire and the recommendations gives you all of this. The other thing that we do for Candida is we have specific enzymes in the store. They're kinase enzymes. What they do is they hunt down existing Candida. They hunt down existing chitin, and they assimilate them, break them down. So they will, the kinase enzymes go after mouth parts of mites. It goes after the eggs of mites. It goes after everything associated with fungal organisms. And it also breaks down biofilm, which many people, somebody earlier mentioned a film that they had.
So the enzymes you sell is what I need to order too?
Yes. Again, do the questionnaire. You'll get a complete list. You don't have to go through, it even has links. So all you do is you click on the link, it takes you to the product.
Okay, because I have the book and I have all the stuff you sell, so but you have more stuff then, I guess, right?
It's part of the Morgellons pack. We have a Morgellons pack which has all the supplements, except for the lufeneron. You have to order that from Mexico.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Richard, then, for your time. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Keep tuning in. Keep coming back. This program is what makes the difference. You see, the bottom line is this is a self-help program, but we go beyond that. The essence of this program is that book and the blog. But I know in reading things, there's sometimes people misunderstand things, or it's maybe not perfectly clear for them. So we provide the opportunity for you to email me questions about what you may not understand in the book or misunderstand, and to come on to this program to ask these questions so we can answer them. But it is basically a self-help program. And we're here to help that be a self-help program.
Yeah, because I was where you are, like, thinking I just should check out. You know, I've done everything. I got your book when I went to the wellness doctor at the same time. So it was like they were both, like, kind of, you know, I had to go to his appointment and take what he gave me, and I got your book and read it and started the diet and stuff. But, you know, I'm just, going to every doctor. I've spent tens of thousands of dollars, and I'm like, why is this happening to me? I want to go to sleep and not wake up, you know. Where you are.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. So now that you're on the diet and you're in the program, you will progress. Keep coming back to this conference call.
I will.
You know, out of over 5,000 people in our mailing list, only about between 40 and 60 people every week actually take advantage of tuning into this call. I'd like that number to be more like 200 or 300, but, you know, but people do get well. They do get their lives back. Thank you. Anyone else like to share or ask a question? Anybody else, Chris?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay. A week or so ago, you mentioned about, excuse me, apple cider vinegar with the NG soap, and what I need to know is how much you were saying, how many ounces of apple cider vinegar to NG soap on plants, and you could use it on people as well, like spray it on.
Oh, you mean for plants, for flowers and things, roses, plants?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, basically, you only need to use the apple cider vinegar if you're finding that you're dealing with extremely wet weather that promotes a lot of fungal activity. If you're not dealing with wet weather that promotes a lot of fungal activity, you can use the NG straight as 1 part concentrate to 64 parts of water.
Okay, 1 part NG. Is that the 50%?
No, the 100%.
Okay. Okay.
And if you're dealing with wet weather and a lot of fungal activity, then you want to add some. You have to experiment. Say out of 64, maybe you will add an ounce of apple cider vinegar. I don't know exactly.
Okay.
Experiment, but spray it on the wet leaves. That's when the fungal activity is most prevalent, when the leaves are wet.
Uh-huh. And when you say 1 ounce, did you say, of the apple cider vinegar?
Yeah, start with that. You may want to go up. I don't know, but it's if you have a lot of wet weather.
Okay, so then that's what we have. So then how many teaspoons or tablespoons is an ounce?
I don't know. I'm thinking 3 teaspoons and a tablespoon. Just go to Google and search for conversion. Write in conversion, tablespoons to ounces.
Okay.
Google has answers to everything. I mean, you used to have to go to the library and spend hours in the library. Now all you got to do is just type it in Google, and there it is.
Can you use it in the bath to rinse with?
In the what?
In the shower to rinse with?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that.
Could you use
apple cider vinegar to rinse in the shower?
Oh, sure. Apple cider vinegar is one of the best things you can apply to your skin if you're dealing with skin fungus. Skin fungus usually shows up as a burning sensation of the skin, redness. There can be a biting occur, but the biting will be mobile. It can move. See, a way to tell the difference between skin fungus and columbola or springtails is when springtails bite you, it doesn't move. It hurts. It feels like it goes to the bone. It doesn't move. But if you have a skin fungus, it bites, it hurts, but it doesn't stay at the same place. It will move.
All right. And what is biting you exactly when it's a fungus?
Well, you know, if you look if you look up or research fungus, fungus has tentacles. It's not just something that lays on your skin. It has tentacles that start embedding themselves into your skin.
Oh, I see.
Richard?
Yes.
I have somebody ask, is Morgellons cause Candida albicans?
Does she want to speak?
Yeah, I opened her line.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's me.
Hi.
Hi, Richard. Elizabeth from
Hi,
Los
Elizabeth.
Angeles. Hi.
And your question is?
Yeah, the question is, Morgellons produce Candida albicans?
No.
No.
Candida is a co-infection. You can have Candida by itself and never have Morgellons. You can have Morgellons and maybe never have Candida. Candida is usually as a result of a poor diet with a lot of refined carbohydrates and sugar. The system gets overwhelmed and begins producing the fungal organisms that are connected with Candida. Usually the symptoms are bloating of the stomach, and I forget which chapter it is, but it's got about 3 pages about the different symptoms of Candida from the different stages. When I had it many, many years ago, before I had any connection with skin parasites, I felt like whatever I ate laid in my stomach like a lead balloon. It didn't digest. It just laid there. Your digestive system just stopped.
Ahora te oigo.
Okay.
Decorate your place.
What? What?
Okay.
So as I said before, the King diet is the best there is. Take out no white rice. That's the only change.
Okay, I've been having a scalp problem, but after the scalp, they take the treatment for 2 months, and I got a rash in my back of my neck. It's getting down to my back.
Well, how are you doing with the diet? Are you very strict with the diet?
Yeah, I was, because I have a blindfold, I was drinking ultra pasteurized milk my diet.
What kind of milk?
The ultra pasteurized.
I don't understand. Well, the only milk that might be okay is lactose-free milk. Any other milk I would be highly suspicious of.
What about the whole milk?
Whole milk? Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
You have to read through that diet. That's where you want to keep a diary. Write down everything you eat.
I saw it that you put the Costco maybe.
What?
You said maybe the Costco.
Yeah, the book.
Costco lactose free. Most milk that you find in the grocery store can be lactose free, but it's got other ingredients which make it no good. But Costco has lactose-free milk without any other ingredients.
Okay.
So it's the only milk that I would recommend you try. And I'm not guaranteeing you that it will be okay.
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 Yeah, that's the only thing I was taking the free lactose milk on the store. But I think that's the only, maybe
Elizabeth, it only takes one little thing and you're not on the diet.
Yeah.
Only one little thing. You can think you're on the diet. You can think you're perfect. That's why you want the diary. And if you're having difficulty like you are, you look in the diary and you compare it to the diet and see where you're off. You have to search it out.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. One lady found a few weeks ago that diamond salt has sugar in it.
Oh, really?
Really.
Yeah.
And when it comes to soy, there are 40 different ways soy can show up as an ingredient.
What about sea salt?
Sea salt should be good, but just look at the ingredients and make sure they don't add something.
Okay, right.
You know, they add things like binders or things to anti-flake stuff, and I don't know. They add this stuff, and this stuff is often an issue. Sometimes it's not, but sometimes it is.
Okay, thank you, Richard.
You're welcome, Elizabeth. Keep coming back. Anyone else like to share? Anybody else would like or question?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question.
Yes?
Why can't you drink apple cider vinegar? Some people actually recommend it for Morgellons.
Okay. For Morgellons, apple cider vinegar is wonderful. It's great. Drink it. But 80% of people who have Morgellons also have columbola, springtails. Apple cider vinegar feeds that organism. So while it may help the Morgellons, if you also have the columbola, it's going to produce no results. It's going to make them stronger. Coconut milk is much the same. Coconut milk, from what I understand, is okay for Morgellons, but not for columbola. So chapter 4 of the book, the last several pages, show you the differences. Like people with Morgellons can have like blueberry, but with columbola, you can't. People with columbola, only columbola, and stage 2 can have sugar. But people with Morgellons can never, ever have sugar. So the diet is very precise. You need to read chapter 4 over and over so you have an understanding of how this works. It took me a year to figure it out. And there it is for you. You can read it in 20 minutes.
Symptoms, what do you think?
I just saved you a year. Anyone else like to ask a question or share?
When they have a columbola, never in their life, they can use sugar on it.
What?
When they have a columbola.
Columbola or springtails?
No sugar, right? No sugar for life.
Mites? Well, mites are arthropods. There are 40,000 of them. Columbola is sometimes confused, but it's a species of its own.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Some people call columbola a mite, but it's technically not.
No. I'm talking about the columbola. I cannot take sugar.
No sugar.
For life. No.
For life.
Right?
Forever.
Forever. Okay.
Oh yeah. When you get to stage 3, you can have some from time to time, but it's not something you're going to eat every day.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
The beauty about this diet, it's got 3 stages. Stage 1 is the strictest. If you are a stickler for detail and do exactly as I say, compare what you're eating with the diary and the book, you can get to stage 2 within 7 days. Doesn't have to be a long time. But concurrently, you need to be disinfecting. You need to be bathing. So you do everything that's spelled out to the letter and make no mistakes. You can get to stage 2 in a week. And then on to stage 3 in about a month.
Okay. All right.
But it's hard not to make mistakes. Anyone else have a question or like to share?
Yes, I have a question. AC from Florida. I have been sticking to the diet, and I've been doing really well. And I did something drastic with my bedroom. I had all the carpet removed and put in tile that looks like wood. And
Erin, don't you dare! Don't you dare!
The only thing I did not put back in my room was...
You go in the bathroom and you sit on the toilet.
Suited.
She wanted to pray.
The question is...
Wait.
I'm so sorry. This is what happens. If we can all get back to the system where we text Chris and he just has open one line at a time, that would be great. But here we just had an example. I'm trying to listen to this lady ask a question, and there's all this other stuff coming in. I can't hear. Would you ask the question again?
Okay, my question mainly has to do with, I have a wood bed frame that's a large wood bed frame that I haven't put back in my room yet. I'm just about to do it because I've been on the diet, and it's been going really well with sleeping, and I haven't been waking up, and I'm not itching as, minimal itching. What should I put on I know you had it in your book. I do have your book. But what would you recommend putting on this wood furniture? Do I do it daily? Do I spray it daily? Putting it back in my room. Because I really just have a mattress on the floor encased in an encasement right now. And that would be my last piece of putting it back in the room.
Well, there are many options. One is you can use the enzymes. You can spray it with the enzymes. You could spray it with, we have a Benefect. It's called Benefect disinfectant. We also have a Mediclean disinfectant. The Benefect disinfectant is thyme-based. It's organic. The Mediclean is less expensive, but it's chemical. You can... ozone it. How often you need to do it is hard to say. If it has crevices in it, that could be a problem. That's where an electrostatic sprayer would be definitely advantageous. You got anything to add to that, Robin?
Well, I mean, if it's mites tend to love wood, and you could use clove oil and water mixture to spray it down. You can wipe it with clove and peppermint oil, which the wood will soak into the wood. I mean, where are you keeping it now? You said it's not in your room. Is it in your house?
It's in my dining room. And I got to get it out before Thanksgiving. But yeah, it's sitting there. It does appear like I have mites, and I do clean around that area, and it seems like there's always little dots dropping down at night.
I mean, you could put the bed in. If the frame is taken apart, you could put it in a plastic bag like that they use for couches or chairs, and with Nuvon strips, which are a solid pesticide. You could spray the heck out of it with one of Richard's sprays, and then put it in the bag with Nuvon strips and leave it for 4 months.
The oil is a good suggestion. We have a red cedar oil in the store. You could wipe it down with a red cedar oil. I think if you have mites, you know where the bed is put together, the posts are put together with the front, the front and the back. The metal gets inserted in the post. You'd want to open that up, and you'd want to clean that real good in there. You'd want to, maybe dump a few drops of oil in there, because they could be breeding in a space like that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello?
Anyone else?
Yes?
I have a question here. Well, it's not really a question, but when do you recommend adding Haagen-Dazs ice cream into your diet?
Well, again, Again, this is only for Columbella. If you also have Morgellons, Haagen-Dazs is out. But if you only are dealing with Columbella, stage 2. And there are only about 3 or 4 flavors, vanilla, chocolate chip, and chocolate with chocolate chips.
And, you know, you can also tell, I mean, generally if the sugar is towards the end of the ingredients instead of the beginning, there's going to be less sugar in it than in others. You can get good at reading labels, and even if you can eat some sugar, you want to minimize it. So if sugar is one of the last 3 ingredients, that's a lot better than it being one of the first 2.
Now, if you find Ben & Jerry's for 50 cents a pint, don't buy it. Ben & Jerry's is the absolute worst ice cream there is in terms of ingredients. The alternative is to make your own. And there's a recipe in the book where you can make your own. You can use stevia instead of sugar or honey, and use lactose-free milk and half and half. And the ingredients are great. It's 2 egg yolks. Depends on how much you make. 2 egg yolks and half milk and stevia.
And you could use cocoa made with alkali.
Right. Yeah. Anyone else have a question?
Yeah, I have a question, please.
Yes.
This is Andrea from Chicago. Hello to everyone. Hi, Rich.
Hi.
Hi. First of all, I would like to thank you for what you are doing. I'm here repeatedly, not only because of all information, but I don't feel alone in this, and it's really empowering. So thank you.
You're most welcome.
Hey.
Robin and I and Ethel are glad to be here for you, and Barbara, if she's on the call as well, our buddy coach.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all. And what I would like to ask is that a couple of weeks ago, you have Dr. Beatrice, on the conference call, and
yes.
She was talking about herbal remedies for Lyme disease and also for internal parasites. And also she was talking about how to reduce EMF, what she was doing in her apartment. And she mentioned that she will provide a manual, instructions, and that we could get them via update from you. So I'm just asking if we have a hope to get all this information from her and from you.
Well, regarding EMF, we've been recommending shungite, and in our store we have little blocks that you can put on your cell phone. I learned from her that copper works as well, and we're looking into someone to make us some copper bracelets and anklets. So those are 2 things you can do. You can get the Stetson filter online. It's referenced in the book. It's also in the recommendations. If you complete the questionnaire, there's a questionnaire if you feel more activity around your computer. So if you answer that question, yes, it triggers the set of recommendations for EMF. It's a Stetson filter you plug into one of your receptacles, and it cancels out the EMF in the room. You can also get the device that you put over your meter outside to cancel out the EMF from it. As far as Lyme disease, the first thing you want to do is read my free report. Lyme disease doesn't have to own you anymore. My experience says that if you do the right things nutritionally, you may require little, if any, medical. I do not recommend you waste time getting lab tests for Lyme disease. It's too much of a pig in a poke. You get false positive, false negatives. So read that report first. Boosting glutathione is one of the most important things that you can do, because if you do a lot of research with Lyme disease, you will find that it loves toxicity. It loves to swim in a sewer. And your cells can be a sewer if they've been accumulating chemicals, lead, cadmium, pesticides, all that stuff. There are hundreds of thousands of chemicals that are manufactured in this country, and only a mere, 50 or 60,000 do we know what impact they have on human health, and we get exposure to them, so they accumulate in our cellular structure. And the glutathione is the best thing to detoxify. You can go to your medical doctor, the osteopath, and have him do chelation therapy, which is EDTA, and go there once a day for, 21 days or whatever frequency, or maybe once or twice a week for many, many weeks, and spend thousands of dollars and get detoxified. You can spend $10,000 to have all of your fillings taken out of your mouth that might have mercury and get that result. Or you can boost your glutathione, and it will scavenge up all the toxicity, the mercury, and get rid of it and take away the cesspool that Lyme disease needs. And then the other part of the protocol is the garcellin, which is a natural antibiotic, antiviral, antifungal, antiparasitic, which is phenomenal, along with a good nutritional multiple vitamin. And the multiple vitamin that we have in our store is the only one that is specifically formulated for Lyme disease and contains no minerals or other garbage that could be a problem with the diet. It's incredible. And then boost your minerals. You can do, the best is our ionic minerals. That's the best. Or the other minerals in capsule form. But that's the essence. And then the next step is the kinase enzymes, because the kinase enzymes also, as I mentioned earlier, go after biofilm. And one of the things that Lyme disease does, the spirochete, the bacterium, is it builds a barrier to keep out, to protect it. And that barrier is biofilm. And this enzyme goes after that barrier. So when you put those four things together, you may not need treatment. But if you do, and I'm not saying this is a treatment, it's not. It is nutritional supplements to build immune functioning. So, and if you do need treatment, then you go through antibiotics. You go through rotation of antibiotics. You rotate that with Lyme, with vitamin C and salt. That's another, and it's spelled out, how many milligrams of salt you need per pound, per 100 pounds. You go through the rifing, the frequency. So the best approach is to go through different modalities and to rotate them. And you use zeolite. Because one of the things with Lyme disease is that once this treatment starts working, there is a lot of toxicity release. And that toxicity is the Herxheimer reaction, which is a detox reaction, and it overfloods the system. So what most people do, the practitioners, is they take you off of the treatment so your body can get rid of all the toxicity, which is the big mistake, because when they take you off the treatment that's working, the spirochete adapts to a new form and escapes. So when the treatment is resumed, it no longer works. So to counter the toxicity, we have three things that we recommend. One is zeolite. You can get it on Amazon. Number two is to boost the amino acids in your body, the natural amino acids and digestive enzymes. So by going that route, you diminish the detox reaction while you can continue with whatever Lyme therapy your doctor has you on. So read about it. It's all there. The Lyme disease almost destroyed my life. I was almost dead 13 years ago.
Thank you so much for your complete information.
You're welcome.
I read your report, and I'm using mostly of all supplements you mentioned, and they really work. I'm really very excited about salt and vitamin C. It worked for me from the very first moment, and really it's good stuff. Only I'm kind of hungry for every information. That's why I'm asking about also other sources. And so to this question, I would like to ask also about chlorella. Can it be used like in substitution for zeolite, or do you have or anyone experience with chlorella? Is that safe?
I'm not quite understanding what you're asking about using instead of something.
Zeolite for detoxification.
Zeolite, yeah. Can it be used instead of what?
And if chlorella can be used instead of zeolite.
I'm sorry. Could you spell them? I'm not following your pronunciation.
Okay, so chlorella, it is CHLORELLA.
Chlorella. Chlorella.
Yes, correct. Thank you so much.
Chlorella, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with chlorella. I'd have to go look at it, Google it and see what it's about.
It's a green food. It adds a lot of. It's like seaweed. It's a very healthy thing you can make a drink with. There's not a lot of extra additives in it.
Okay. So I don't see why you couldn't use that. That should be fine if it has no additives.
Okay. I think she said flora.
I will tell you later.
Always.
Okay.
Richard, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Keep coming back.
I will.
For those of you who are new on this call, according to the work that's done at the Morgellons Foundation and their research, which is very valuable, they find that basically 80%, even higher, of people who have Morgellons also have one of two types of Lyme disease. So when we say Morgellons, it's AKA Lyme disease. And the good news is that people get their lives back with this program, and the basic supplement package for the Columbella pack is also called the Lyme pack, which I just went through with this lady on the call. So we deal with Lyme disease every day. It's that we don't call it Lyme disease, but every day we deal with Lyme disease, and we're successful. Anyone else like to share, ask a question?
I have a question.
Yes.
My cat has, I have a tuxedo cat with black fur, and we moved to an area where it's a lot of moisture, a lot of rain, and the cat came with, and now that fur is very dull and thin, lifeless, very fine, and when we put the fur in water and examine the fur, the fibers of the hair, some of them actually stand up and move off the side of the pan that when we, pull them out of the water. You know what that means?
I'm not following. Do you understand what she's asking, Robin?
I think that cats can get Morgellons as well as people, and if you're seeing fibers that move, that's often indicative of Morgellons.
And is that mites or something, a microorganism
No,
inside the
Morgellons
hair?
is different than mites.
You see, Morgellons,
or do they create their own fibers?
Morgellons is an organism unto itself. It's often carried by mites. Mites are a vector. Bed bugs are a vector. Carpet beetles are a vector. Maybe mosquitoes are a vector. I don't know.
Fleas are a vector.
So it's characterized by filaments growing from the skin, and many people do report that they do move. And those filaments, according to the Morgellons Foundation, their research, actually contain the spirochetes. So that's where I suspect the contagious aspect of it comes from, is that someone can come in contact with one of those filaments, and somehow the spirochete can migrate through the skin layers and become infectious. That's my guess. But of course, the Morgellons Association says that Morgellons is not contagious from human to human. They do say that Morgellons can be picked up from animals. From your dog, you can get it. And many people have reported to me that they have picked up these organisms by taking in a rescue animal. So if you're taking in rescue animals, which is a good thing to do, you definitely want to check their health. Keep them isolated perhaps, or quarantined for a couple of days and observe their behavior to see that they're not infected.
Okay, so then all these fibers, do they invade your own hair, the cat's hair?
No, they are not your own hair. They're composed of collagen and
keratin.
Collagen and keratin, and they contain the spirochete. So they are not your own hair. They're different than your own hair.
And could they be a fungus?
What?
No.
Could Morgellons, these fibers, be a fungus?
No. That is a myth. In my opinion, it's a myth. People say that Columbella is fungal. People say Morgellons is fungal. Let's say it this way. There are complications. There are cofactors. Morgellons by itself, theoretically, is pretty well easily handled with the antidote is boron. Take boron and apple cider vinegar or something to alkalize your body, and that is the antidote supposedly for Morgellons. And I don't find any reason for that not to be true. However, Morgellons doesn't operate in a vacuum. When you're infected with Morgellons, then other opportunistic organisms can become a real powerful factor. So fungal organisms, once you're infected with Morgellons, can become a powerful cofactor. And fungal organisms can range from Candida, which can exist by itself, as I had many, many years ago before I had skin parasites, or it can be a cofactor. You can have skin fungus. If you go to the Google, there are many different kinds of fungal organisms. Blastomyosis, another fungal organism of the lung. So these suddenly become factors that otherwise might not have been a factor. Internal parasites suddenly become a factor, whereas they may not have been a factor before. They were a factor, but not a dramatic factor.
The program can help treat Morgellons in cats and dogs. It kills the eggs in the body, and it goes by weight. And then doing flea dip can help kill them on the surface of the skin, or getting a Seresto collar.
And how do you get rid of when you're getting it off the animal and it's going to go into your house?
Read the book. That's seriously. You have to deal with the environment. You have to disinfect. You want to isolate the animal if you can. Disinfect where they sleep. Disinfect the area around them. If they sleep in your bed, you're going to need vinyl zippered mattress covers, and
You're going to need diatomaceous earth in their bedding.
Right.
Definitely the first thing. Diatomaceous earth in their bedding. And then
and
this
on their
electrical
skin.
collar, the program.
Yeah. You can rub diatomaceous earth in their fur, too, and it will kill things.
See, your life is normal. Your life is perfect. You're going along. You're going to work. You're coming home, and then you suddenly notice that you have itching somewhere in your body. And you don't pay too much attention to it, and the itching gets progressively worse. And then before you know it, you've got lesions, you've got pimples happening that you don't, and you've got lumps starting to happen, and you're getting a little more concerned. So you go to the doctor, and the doctor looks at you, and he can't see anything. So a couple more days go by, and it gets a little more dramatic. And then you start going on the Internet, and then you find my book, and then you are wakened up to the fact that your whole house has now become infected.
Right.
Yeah.
Not just you, your whole house.
Yeah.
And you're a walking, talking, breeding machine. And we need to do something about it. Now, it's a phenomenal problem.
Yeah. I want to tell you, Richard, that a man named Fredo Hernandez had this, and his hair, he says it starts in your hair. It's a fungus, and it goes to your body. So he used that acid medicine for it. I have a bottle of it. But he said that it's Aspergillus. He went to the doctors and the labs and tracked it down to Aspergillus fumigatus. And he says he sees it in everybody's hair now, being lifeless and listless, and he sees it on people's skin being luminescent or,
Well, like I said, there are many cofactors, and it doesn't take away the fact that maybe it's not fungal, but it might. I mentioned Dr. Karjoo earlier. He's out of business. His main thing was silica. I just discovered last week, somebody emailed me to tell me that he's no longer in practice, and that he's finding that silica, that's the diatomaceous earth, is silica. Silica, in his mind, was the problem. And to me, that's bullshit. We use silica all the time. We use diatomaceous earth. Maybe it was a problem because his people weren't on the diet. I don't know. If you're not on this diet, anything could be a problem.
Yeah.
So fungus can be a problem. But if you're not on this diet, it's going to be a problem, and you're never going to get rid of it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and just because they find that doesn't mean that that's what Morgellons is. I mean, it's been proven by microbiologists that Morgellons is a Bartonella spirochete. And, yeah, there are co-infections, and maybe someone had a fungal infection or something else, and so they assume that's what it is for everyone, but it's not.
Please read Dr. Saverly's book. Please read Dr. Saverly's book. Dr. Saverly makes no mention of fungus. She makes no mention, or she says that Calambola is a myth. Okay? She makes no mention of bites. Okay? She deals with Morgellons as the pure Morgellons. Everything else that we deal with, she is either ignorant about, or she didn't want to bring it into the mix because her goal is to legitimize Morgellons in the face of medical professionals. But Morgellons is Morgellons, and everything else is a cofactor. Right. And anybody can have different cofactors or different. In fact, Morgellons is not the same for everybody. Everybody has filaments or fibers, but they vary from very tiny microscopic things to big, long, moving things. They vary in colors from red, green, white, black. They're fluorescent. And the symptoms of Morgellons is different for everybody. Not everybody's got biofilm, but some people have black biofilm. Some people have white biofilm. Some people have no biofilm. Some people have lesions on their face that are terrible. Some people have no lesions on their face. So everybody is different in the terms of the cofactors that are involved.
That's right.
Different fungal organisms. You know, Morgellons just makes it easier for these other organisms, as I said before, to flourish.
Okay, well, how do they make those fibers out of keratin and collagen? Do they take that from the human body?
Yes, they do. The organism diminishes. The organism diminishes two important elements from your body. It somehow takes iron, and it somehow takes organic sulfur. Now, organic sulfur, MSM, and I won't try to pronounce it, is in every cell of your body. It's very important. So it depletes your body of organic sulfur and iron to produce somehow these filaments. And how they do it exactly, we don't have enough research. Maybe one day, you know, they don't even agree the fact that Morgellons is contagious. So that's how, this is why this is the 10th revision of this book. This is not the 10th revision because the other 9 revisions were wrong. This is the 10th revision because we keep learning. I keep learning.
That's right.
I see. So they deplete the iron and organic sulfur, MSM, to deplete the body, to create or take the collagen and the keratin.
Well, I don't know. Collagen it's a natural ingredient. You know, so somehow they manipulate it. I don't know. So we're not here to necessarily speculate on that. You know, maybe next year our speculations will bring insight. It's like we just discovered less than 6 months ago that the value of these medications such as ORAP have an effect on dopamine levels. Up until that point, we were called quacks because we were sharing that they help, they work. So in time, everything has a way of showing itself, but I don't know the answer at this point, and it doesn't matter to me at this point how it works. I just know that it works. Morgellons is a genetically modified organism. It genetically modifies the cellular structure. And one of the aspects of glutathione is that it blocks that free radical damage. That's why it's important to boost glutathione.
I see.
Thank you.
Blocks free radical damage. What? Glutathione blocks free radical damage.
Glutathione protects your DNA from free radical damage.
Okay.
And Morgellons is a part of, Morgellons is there attempting to manipulate your DNA.
Next to the Jeep.
Okay.
And it's probably through the manipulation of the DNA that produces these filaments or fibers.
Okay. Okay. And what did you say Morgellons was? Did you say it was some kind of a
Bartonella spirochete.
Well,
Morgellons,
I don't think, my personal opinion is it is not Lyme disease. For some reason or other, Lyme disease is in this mix. But Morgellons itself is an organism that has not been identified, but through, if you read Hilda Clark, it manipulates the genetic DNA. And the manipulation of that genetic DNA somehow creates this combination of collagen and keratin that emanate from your skin, and somehow the spirochetes, I mean, there is a theory that everybody has Lyme disease already.
So Bartonella is a bacteria that's not.
Let me say it's well
known.
known.
Of Lyme.
It's well known that everybody on this planet already has cancer. We all have cancer. And the theory makes sense that everybody also has spirochete, has Lyme disease. So somehow this organism, through the manipulation of the DNA, somehow brings that cofactor alive, like it brings Lyme disease, like it brings fungal organisms alive. It brings internal parasites more alive.
Oh, he wanted to go back to his house and so. Oh, okay.
We usually don't get into this theoretical possibility stuff. We're just here to, get our lives back.
There's a lot of background noise again.
Yeah, there's background noise, and we don't want to forget the contribution of chemtrails. The chemtrails are specific minerals that are somehow dumped into the atmosphere for whatever reason. There's a very good video that goes out with all the when I send out the recommendations that you can look at how chemtrails are involved in this whole mess and what they may be contributing to this equation.
How do I find that video?
What's that?
How do I find that video?
Have you completed the questionnaire?
No, I haven't.
All right. When you complete the questionnaire, I send out all the recommendations, and if you have filaments or fibers growing from your skin, it will link to that video that you can watch in detail. Now, quite frankly, 4 or 5 years ago, people were saying chemtrails were involved. I didn't care, so I'm just dealing with, I didn't feel one way or the other about it. 4 or 5 years ago, people were saying genetically modified Monsanto and glyphosate were a contributing factor. I didn't care. It didn't matter to me whether I ate the organic or not. But as I got a little more into it and studied it, it all started making sense. So we're talking about cofactors, and the gut is another cofactor, and the emphasis of glyphosate on destroying the microbiome in the gut just makes it easier for something like Morgellons to have power.
Richard, I have a question from Ethel. She wants to know if more women have Morgellons because of estrogen, lack of estrogen, and if estrogen should be added back in. I just know that estrogen can cause blood clots, cancer, and heart attacks, and it's not recommended for postmenopausal women, but she wants to know what you think.
I don't know. I have no idea. I've never read anything that connected estrogen. A few years ago, somebody wrote me and asked, or his theory was that gallium from having this, what's this medical test? You go in this big thing, and they, I don't know why I can't think of the name of it. The brain fog here has got me. But if you have any metal, you can't wear metal in there or whatever, or nothing. And it instead of a X-ray, it sees your body differently. So they use gallium, and so I did a thing, and I sent out, and many people have Morgellons and never had that type of medical procedure. So I don't think that I don't know about estrogen. That would be worthy of its own research project. Anyone else have a question before we conclude the program? Wow, it's 6:30 already, Eastern Time.
I know. I've got to go in a couple of minutes.
Anyone else? Well, how do we wrap it up? Happy cells? You got time for happy cells?
Sure.
You don't sound very enthusiastic.
I just had someone laugh at me because I nearly died from taking super low dose estrogen, and I had blood clots that went into my lungs and my heart, and at 48 years old I had a heart attack. And they were like, ha! Anyway, sure, I'll do the happy cell song.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to sing it through once, and then if you guys want to join me, feel free. All my cells are healthy and happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. All my cells are healthy and happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. My cells are healthy and my cells are happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. My cells are healthy and my cells are happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. All my cells are healthy and happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. Sing along. All my cells are healthy and happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. My cells are healthy and my cells are happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well. My cells are healthy and my cells are happy. My cells are healthy and happy and well.
Yay!
Good job, guys.
Do that while you're breathing. Do your deep breathing. Have that mind. Have that in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy cells. Okay, time for our drawing. Chris, do you have a winner?
Yes, Richard.
Yes.
The last four numbers are 3639.
3639. What does that mean? If the last four digits of your phone number are
3639.
3639. You're the winner of this week's drawing, which is either a signed copy of the newest revision of the book or $20 credit in the store. Are you still on the call? Are they still on the call, Chris?
I'll call her later.
Okay. All right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Keep coming back. It's where we get our lives back. And we're going to stop the recording pretty soon. But first I want to thank Robin for being my co-host, Ethel for being our breeding coach and sharing her information about how to deal with the scalp and the hair. I want to thank Barbara for being our buddy coach and Sandra for being our other coach. When you get your life back, and many of you have, if you'd like to give back, I welcome you to be one of our coaches. So I love you all, and thank to Chris for handling the technical aspects and handling the phone. Love you all. Keep coming back. So the recording is stopping now, and we'll give out phone numbers.